guys, welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Tori Simone. I'm your host, Tori Simone, and today we're going to be talking about my daily routine. Okay, Emma Chamberlain has been posting podcast episodes like this where she talks about her daily routine, and I don't know what it is, like whether it's just the really nosy person that I am, but I'm obsessed with those episodes. And every single time that she releases it, it is like top of my queue list. It's really the only kind of episodes that I want to listen to from everyone. I wish everyone would release a video or a podcast like this because I'm so nosy. I just want to know how people live their day-to-day lives. And like, I need the most detailed breakdown of what you do every minute of every day on like an average day. Like, what does your life look like? So when she posts these, I love them. So I figured, I think you guys would like them too, if I like them as much as when Emma does it. So I'm going to tell you guys my daily routine and exactly what I do on like a normal day-to-day basis. Now, this routine is going to switch up slightly in the next few weeks because I'm moving down to the shore, but I'll say what's going to be changing when I get to that part of my day. But honestly, not much, which is really amazing, which is really, really amazing. I also want to preface this episode by saying I work completely for myself, meaning any source of income that I get is all self-employment. So like I own spin and fitness studios, obviously this podcast, my YouTube channel, any content creation, like everything that I do is self-employed, which means for the most part, I make my own hours, which is why my days are able to look the way that they are and I structure them the way that I do. It's totally like my call to have structure to my day or not. And I think that's important to note. Now, this is also why I want you guys to make even just like a post about this and tag me on your Instagram because I'm just so curious what your days are like, whether you work corporate, you're in school. I'm thinking of my friend Alex who just started venturing into full-time fitness. Like I would love to hear like something like this from her. So we all have, to us, it's like, I don't know why anyone would find this interesting, but it really is interesting. And speaking of talking all about yourself and making it interesting, I have a fun, exciting announcement. And that announcement is that I launched a newsletter. And I'll have the link down below to sign up for my newsletter. Now, let me just quickly explain why I wanted to start this newsletter and what it's about. So essentially, I've been thinking about starting a newsletter for a little bit now. And recently, I just felt like more and more called to do it because the truth of the matter is that the pressure of social media feels very like it just becomes a lot. Like when you have YouTube, podcast, Instagram, TikTok, all these facets, it just feels like a lot. And I always feel like social media was obviously created so that you can follow friends, family, your favorite celebrities, and then influencers became a thing because of social media, blah, blah, blah. And I always thought, well, like, why would anyone want a newsletter when they can get all of the things that I share on all of my various social media platforms? But then I was thinking like, well, if there was a 100% free subscription service sort of thing to like my faves, like I was thinking of Housewives. I was like, if Teresa Giudice came out with a newsletter that was like free, I would sign up for it. Like if Kyle Richards had a newsletter that was free, I would sign up for it. If Melissa Gorga had a newsletter, I would sign up for it because it's a way to stay in touch with your faves without having to go on social media. And like right now, the past 2 weeks, I've just been so like, I need to be off of social, even though I'm on it all the time. As like a consumer of it, I'm just like, I just don't even want to be scrolling right now, but I want to know what like my faves are up to. And if they had newsletters, I would be subscribed to it. And then I started thinking like, well, then maybe people want that for me too. And it just made more sense to me the more I thought about it. So subscribe to my newsletter. It's completely free. I'm literally not going to be selling you guys anything on there. There's no catch. Everything on it is free. And I'm just going to be sending out newsletters throughout the week. I'm going to be talking about stuff that I don't talk about on this podcast all the time, such as like my White Lotus recap, my thoughts on that. I watch tons of Bravo TV. So like my thoughts on Summer House, for example, and like what's going on in the housewife world, other shows that I'm watching. So I'll talk about that stuff, but I'll also talk about like my life. For example, I just had my 27th birthday party, so I wrote a whole newsletter about that. That's up now on my like website and newsletter. And then also just random things like how I like my coffee in the morning and how I plan out my meals. Like I'll post like my grocery list and my meal plans for the week and just like all things about me that I don't always share. But I figured if I was a consumer of someone and I wanted to know just like more about their life, I would want to read their newsletter. And that's what this is. It's just a very personal you and me newsletter. And yeah, so I'll have it linked down below if you guys are interested in signing up. Again, it's totally free. There's no catch. I'm not selling you anything. It's just you and me over on the newsletter. And I'll be sending out the goal eventually is like daily posts, but I'll be starting out with a few times a week and then we'll build from there. But anyway, sign up down below. Link is in the description of this episode. And also, I apologize if you guys are watching this on video. The lighting, I thought it was supposed to be sunny all day, but I guess there's like a big cloud going through. So it just got really dark here, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, let's talk about my daily routine, what I do every day. For the most part, my weekdays all look pretty similar, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I tend to be a creature of habit and routine. You guys know I love routine, so for me it's a good thing, but I'm going to spare no detail. And I didn't even need to like prep this episode with any sort of notes or anything because that's just my life. So let's just get right into it. So should I start with the night before or the morning? The reason why I want to start with the night before is because I have like important supplements. Okay, we'll start with the supplements that I take the night before and then we'll go into the morning. So before I go to bed every single night, I am really obsessed with my sleep and getting optimal sleep and the supplements that I take for my sleep. Now, number one, I have an Oura ring and I've had an Oura ring for about 2 years now, a little over. And I seriously love this thing. It is part of my body. It's just like my second skin at this point. I couldn't be more obsessed with it. And it tells me a ton of data about my sleep, but also I use it as like my birth control. It tracks my cycle, takes my temperature when I'm sleeping. It's just the best. I love it so much. So I have my Oura ring that tracks my sleep, but to make sure I get like the best sleep possible, I always take 2 supplements a night. The first one is a probiotic, and that doesn't aid with sleep, but I do take it at nighttime, which is interesting because I used to take it in the morning, my probiotic. And on the packaging, I take the Symbiotica probiotic. The packaging says recommended at nighttime, and I was like, let's try. So I started taking a probiotic at night. Oh my God, what a game changer. So I take that before I go to bed. And then I also take Symbiotica's Magnesium. Okay, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I post about this stuff all the time. I call it a horse tranquilizer because it literally puts me to sleep in the best way possible. So like, you know, when you take melatonin or NyQuil, you wake up the next morning feeling really groggy. This does not happen at all with magnesium. I take magnesium about 30 to 45 minutes before I want to be asleep. Okay, not the time I want to be in bed, by the time I want to be asleep. And within like 20 minutes, my eyes are closing and I'm dozing off into the best sleep of my life. I don't know what it is about their magnesium. I will link it down below. And if you guys also use the link that I provide, you do get money off. I think it's 15% off, but I'm not entirely sure, but you do get money off if you guys click the link that I have below. I couldn't love it more. It's the one that's in the white packaging and you take it like orally. So it's almost like a gel, like a goo, and you can mix it in with a drink, but I just, shoot it down. I think it tastes pretty good and I enjoy it. So I take that like 20 minutes no, 30 to 45 minutes before I like want to be asleep. And within 20 minutes, my eyes are shutting and I wake up the next morning feeling so refreshed, not at all groggy. And I always have the best sleep. And I can tell a difference because of my Aura ring. When I don't take the magnesium, my deep sleep is always less than 20% of my sleep. When I do take magnesium, it's always greater than 20%, which is really good, really restful sleep that I'm getting. I will say I do have like some crazy dreams when I take magnesium, but it's fun and it's just such a great supplement, and it's one that I really believe works. And I love it so much. So I'm obsessed with it. I take it at night and then I wake up feeling really refreshed. And I wanted to start with that because sleep is the foundation of everything. Like if I sleep well, which honestly is most of the time, which I'm very lucky for because I don't have kids or anything like that. So it's just like the season of life that I'm in where I don't have to, be waking up for kids or anything like that. It's just me. I don't have to worry about that. So I normally sleep really well. I aim for 8 hours. I normally hit it every night. Last night was like 10 hours or something. I literally was in bed asleep by like 7:45. And then I got out of bed this morning at like 8. Today was abnormal. I was so tired when I woke up this morning. I'm not too sure why, but I was. Anyway, so I go to bed, I sleep about 8 hours, and then my morning begins. So when I wake up, it's typically 6:15 in the morning is when I wake up. And I used to be someone that had like a really slow morning routine that I used to just linger. And now my morning routine is very like get up and get moving, and I like it a lot more. So I wake up 6:15 and I roll over and I open up my phone and I go to the Aura app, and that's just because I like to see my sleep and I like to track my temperature for the day. And that's really it. That takes like 1 minute and I enjoy that. Then while I'm still on my phone, I see if anyone texted me. Normally it's like family or stuff like that I check for. Any sort of work texts I don't really see first thing in the morning, which is great. So I just check if I have any texts or anything. And then after that, I will go onto Spotify and I'll look at podcasts. I love seeing what podcast came out that day. That's like my favorite thing because I'm about to go for a walk. So I want to see what podcasts I can have queued up. Now, I do have some favorite podcasts that are always in my rotation. Like The Toast is always there because it's a constant. It's uploaded every day. I'll normally listen to yesterday's episode like that following day. So if this is like a Tuesday, for example, I'll listen to Monday's episode on a Tuesday. If it's a Monday, I just have to find something like normally Friday's episode of The Toast or whatever. But so I'll just find any sort of podcast. I love Gals on the Go. Of course, I'm blanking on like all of my favorite podcasts right now, but The Toast is definitely my most listened to podcast. But obviously I like all of my girls like Gals on the Go, Happy Hour with Gretchen Garrity, Huberman Lab, even though I haven't really been listening a lot because he has a lot of guests on right now and I kind of just like the episodes with just him. But anyway, I look at what podcasts have been uploaded. Then I get up out of bed and I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, put in my contacts, and I get ready. Now I use air quotes when I say get ready because if you ask me, it takes 2 seconds. If you ask my boyfriend, it takes all day. When I'm getting ready for my little workouts, what I like to do is just to feel a little bit more put together. So I'll wash my face and then I mix in a little bit of e.l.f. Halo Glow. It's like the Charlotte Tilbury dupe of like the flawless filter. So I put that in, mix it in with my moisturizer, and then I put that all over my face. It's really nice. It just gives me like a little glow to my skin. I brush my hair and then I put Olaplex number 7 oil on my mids to ends of my hair. I honestly feel like that oil has helped my hair grow so much. And I said I can't remember if it was a podcast or a YouTube video, someone was like, I said, I don't know if it's helping my hair grow, but my hair, I feel like has grown really quickly lately. And someone commented that oil actually is helping because it prevents split ends. So it's like letting my hair continue to grow healthfully and it doesn't like break off at the ends. And that makes a lot of sense. So I use that oil and then I put on deodorant and a little bit of like body spray, body perfume, things like that. And then I'm ready to go leave my bathroom. Then I go get dressed and I always put on something to go for a walk in because that's what I'm about to do first. I go for a walk. So normally it's like leggings. It's still a little cold right now. So I'll wear like a tank top and then a sweatshirt over top of it, but just any sort of workout clothes and my sneakers. And then I head downstairs and I go out for a walk. Now, lately, my workout routine has been walk and Pilates, but Pilates can be interchanged with any sort of strength training, whether that's like, lifting weights or reformer Pilates, maybe mat Pilates, maybe yoga. Anything that is, building like skeletal muscle is the goal here. And that can look in a lot of different ways. But currently, you guys know I'm a girl of hyperfixations. My current hyperfixation is reformer Pilates. We will get to that in a minute. But anyway, so I leave my house. At this point, it's like 6:45 a.m. and I go for a walk. Now, I like to go for an hour to an hour 15-minute walk, normally an hour 15-minute walk. And in that walk, I can get in about 4 miles and around 9,000 steps, sometimes 10,000 steps. If I'm like going a little farther and I'm moving quickly, I can, get a little bit more distance in there. But normally that's like a 9,000 step walk for me, which I really like. And on this walk, it's like so awesome. I love walking in the morning. And also this is pretty early too. So, I'm still not thinking about work things or any texts that are coming in, emails I have to answer. It's really just like me and my time to either be alone with my thoughts and I won't put on a podcast. And I treat this almost as like a strategy session with myself. Think about things, what I want to do that day, what I want to do that week. I'll just think like whatever pops into my head. I really don't know. It just happens and I'm just there with myself. It also tends to be very creative. So I think a lot of business ideas or things that I want to do on the podcast, maybe some episodes I want to talk about, just anything creative comes up in these walks when I don't listen to anything. And that's really helpful. And also there are some days where I'm just not ready to listen to a podcast or to music and I just want to be alone. So that's when I will just be alone with my thoughts. And it's really, really nice. A lot of times, though, I will listen to podcasts on my walks. Like I said, I love The Toast. Earlier in the week, I tend to listen to more business savvy podcasts. Like yesterday, I listened to an episode from My First Million, and I really liked that one. Sometimes I'll listen to like a doctor's pharmacy episode and they'll talk about something health related. So it just sort of depends. I find that like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's more the Toast vibe, and Monday, Tuesday, it's more like let's get serious vibe. But again, it just sort of depends on how I'm feeling that day. So I listen to a podcast and like I said, I walk until about 8 a.m. So it's normally about an hour to an hour 15, 4 miles, around 9,000 steps, whatever. I definitely have a step goal of at least 10,000 steps a day. And this morning walk is crucial to hitting all of my steps. So that's a big one. And it's also one of my favorite parts of my day. I love it so much. I'm also going to link below the walking shoes that I'm wearing right now. I love them. They're New Balances and I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I will link them below. They're like white, silver, and black. So they give a really good neutral tone shoe without just all white. I really like them. They look really sleek with like all black outfits, with all white. It just looks really, really good. So I'm going to link them below. They're really comfortable too. They're great for walking. I love them a lot. So then I walk. So right now, once I walk, then where I'm walking to is actually my Pilates studio, but my Pilates studio is essentially like right over where I live. So I'll either go to Pilates somewhere if I'm in the city, which is in Philly when I'm staying with my boyfriend. The Pilates studio that I go to is like right over pretty much like where he lives, which is really convenient. So I'm pretty much just like walking home, but also to the Pilates studio, which is really great. But when I'm home or at the shore, I am going to Stride for Pilates. So down at the shore, I just walk to Pilates and then take class and then walk home. And then I'll kind of like divvy up my walk a little bit more. But here, for like the purpose of this routine, which is like my current daily routine, I do that long walk and then I go take Pilates, which is like pretty much back to where my boyfriend lives. So that makes it really easy. Then I go take Pilates. Like I said, I'm really obsessed with reformer Pilates. This hyperfixation started when I was in Miami a few weeks ago. I was down in Miami with my boyfriend and his family, and they are right by like a Pilates studio. Well, not right by. They're like 3 miles from a Pilates studio. So I would walk to the studio, take the class, walk home, and it was like the best part of my day. I loved it so much, and that's why I like wanted to keep this going. So I just got really into reformer Pilates and the walking plus Pilates combo. I was like, this is it. This is elite, and it's like changed my life. It's my favorite part of my day every day. So then I take reformer Pilates. Not too much to say here. I really like reformer just because it's great strength training, but I don't sweat a ton. And there's something to be said about leaving a workout not drenched in sweat, like how you're just so effortlessly able to go on throughout your day. But the only thing that obviously reformer Pilates doesn't do is their classes aren't heated, and I love a heated class. That's why I'm so excited for Stride this summer to bring back the hot cardio sculpts and all of the heated classes. I can't freaking wait. But anyway, I am really so excited. So anyway, besides the point, I take class. Normally that's about 50 minutes. And then I come back to the house and now I'm home. Okay. Once I'm home, around this time, it's about 9 a.m. And I will go upstairs and I will start writing. Now, this is newer to my routine, obviously because of my newsletter, but what's always been consistent with my deep work sort of routine is that I always do the most creative task first thing in the morning. And I find that after a walk and after working out, I am very creative and I'm in a really good headspace and mindset. So I like to stay in that zone. So that's when I'll do something creative. And lately it's been writing. So that's normally from like 9:15 to about 11:15. I give myself 90 minutes to 2 hours. I block out 2 hours. Some days it's only 90 minutes. Some days it's a little longer. It really just depends. But I block out 2 hours for this in my day. And if you guys are also interested in how I plan out my weeks and plan out my days, I have a whole episode about how I plan my life. And I'll link that down below if you guys are interested in that as well. So I do something creative. Typically it's writing, or if it's for like Stride, for example, it will be creating the schedule for this upcoming summer, or maybe merch designs, just something creative, system building, things that need to be implemented, just something that takes a lot of like brain power. It's not like admin tasks or anything like that. It's brain power, it's creativity. And I use that to my advantage in the morning. And I'm still fasted at this point, meaning I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I find that I'm really creative when I'm fasted, so I use that to my advantage. So I work for a little bit. About 2 hours goes by, then I come downstairs and make breakfast for myself. Now, my current hyperfixation breakfast is ground beef that is cooked with taco seasoning and raw cheddar cheese. And then I scramble some eggs, have that with that, a little bit of cottage cheese and avocado. I have a sugar-free burger sauce that I love that I put on top of it, and hot honey. And that's been my breakfast for the past, 2-3 months. And I'm obsessed with it. I had like a phase for a week or two where I was like, I'm getting the ick from the beef and I can't eat it. But I also realized that's really only when I am in my luteal phase. I like have an aversion to ground beef. So that's very interesting and good to know about myself. But when I'm not in that phase, I love that breakfast, and that's definitely my go-to. And I will say, when I do have like that weird ground beef aversion, I'm actually so lost of what to have for breakfast. And every day is like, I don't know. Typically, I'll go towards like protein oatmeal. So oatmeal with a little bit of peanut butter flavored protein powder is my go-to with some frozen blueberries. It's pretty good, but like nothing really hits like this breakfast that I have. I have another YouTube video up. I'll link it below if you guys want to see how I make that recipe and also like how I plan my meals, what I eat in a day. I'll link that below if you are interested in that. But I do feature that breakfast in that video because it's seriously my addiction and I have it every day. So that's what I have for breakfast. Then I will head back up to my little office, and if I have any sort of household chores that need to be done, this is when I'll kind of begin them. So things that I can do while I work, like put laundry in the washer machine, start the dishwasher. Actually, no, I would not start the dishwasher in the middle of the day. That's something that I do at night. In the morning, we unload the dishwasher, but not in the middle of the day. Really just laundry is what I'm thinking about. Like sheets, towels, clothes, anything that needs to be washed. I'll typically start it when I'm finished my breakfast, which at this point it's around like 11:45 noon. I will begin like household chores that I just want to do throughout the day. So that begins, and then I go back into my office and I begin another bout of work. So this spell of work really consists of my second most important thing to do that day. So it's either going to be number one, Stride stuff. So Stride admin tasks. Whenever I say that like I own studios, but I work for Stride stuff at my house, there seems to be a lot of confusion, which I can understand. But when I say like I'm doing Stride admin stuff, that means creating the schedule for the upcoming season, talking with instructors. We just went through a round of interviews for front desk, creating merch, ordering things for the studio. A lot of times we have subs that we need to sub in and out of the schedule, talking to our employees, just doing like back end stuff. Like you need to do back end stuff on a business, and it's not all like front facing. So that's what that stuff is, like that admin task stuff that normally I'll just save and batch one day a week. But I will do like Stride admin work, and maybe that second bout, I will record a podcast. These are all like, and I do, okay, let me back up a little bit. Each day of the week, this second spell of deep work looks different. So Mondays, it's Stride work. I dedicate my Mondays to do Stride. Tuesdays at noon, and this is always like around noon each day. Tuesdays, I record this podcast. Like right now it's Tuesday and it is currently 12:50. So we're right on par. So I'm recording this podcast, and then after this, I'm going to edit this podcast. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, I will edit a YouTube video during this time. Thursday and Friday, I leave open for errands, catch-alls, any sort of loose ends, meetings, things like that. But this is typically when I knock out like priority items on my to-do list of things that need to be done. So my top 3 are always Stride, my podcast, and then social media, typically in the form of YouTube, or if I have like Instagram content to edit, that's when this will get done. So the second spell of deep work in my day is always for whatever is second on my priority list. So normally I block out again about 2 hours, maybe 90 minutes for that. And then after that, I like to take some sort of break, because at this point I already had 2 spells of like deep work throughout the day. So my brain right now kind of begins to feel it a little bit. So I'll take a break, and that break can either look like going to run an errand or coming downstairs and having lunch. My breakfast keeps me really full for a pretty long time, but when I am ready for lunch, honestly, I wish I could sit here and tell you guys like what my lunch is, but it's seriously different every single day. Lunch is such a catch-all. Like yesterday, I had yogurt with fruit and granola. Today, I will probably do that as well, but we also have chicken salad in the fridge, so I'll probably have some of that as well. It honestly just depends what's in the fridge, what's in the house, what leftovers we have. Like, it really depends. I wish I could tell you, like, this is what I get for lunch every day, but it's honestly different every single day. Lunch is like a figure it out on the fly kind of thing. And I feel like for me, it's always been that way and it drives me crazy, but it's just how it is. So, yeah, I either run an errand, maybe I'll go for a walk a little bit more, get some more steps in, sit down, maybe watch an episode of Summer House or just any sort of reality show, watch a YouTube video. Like, I just tend to take a break here. If I have any laundry to flip over, I'll flip over the laundry. I just sort of like disconnect from work and just like putter around the house and just do whatever it is I need to do for the next 30 minutes. Then after that 30-minute brain break, I go in for one more spell of work, again, 90 minutes to 2 hours. And this will either be finishing up the second most priority thing, maybe going back to a blog post or a newsletter to fine tune it. Maybe it's running errands, or it might just be like finishing up some things. Like on Tuesdays, my third bout of deep work is editing this podcast and sending it out. That's really it. Like the only day that I have something planned for this third bout is on Tuesdays. Every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I normally don't even have this on a Friday. So I guess Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's just open for whatever is going on in my work that day. And it just depends again on the day. Some days maybe it's editing. It's a lot of editing is what a lot of my work is in. It's editing. So like editing another YouTube video, getting ahead on Instagram content, TikTok content, calls, meetings. I'll schedule that later. Therapy, I'll put that in the third bout. So it's all just very structured in my day, but it's time blocked in there as well. I don't know. So I always have 3 bouts of work. And honestly, if I don't have any work like to do, I won't make work for myself. Like I'm just gonna, maybe do something around the house, hang out with a friend, watch a show, read a book. Like if I don't have to work, I won't. You know what I'm saying? But if like there's things to do, this is how I structure it to do for my work. So that really helps. In the summertime, this third bout is when I go to the beach. Sometimes I'll interchange, like I'll do creative work, breakfast, beach, come home, admin work. But I find that when I come back from the beach, I'm normally a little bit tired. So in a perfect world, I like to get, my 2 creativity blocks in the morning and then go to the beach for like this third bout of work. So that's when it's a little bit different in the summertime. But for the most part, that's how I divvy up my day. And then I always tend to stop work at around 5:30 and I begin making dinner. I love making dinner because it's a really definitive end to the workday. And it's also just therapeutic and really fun. I come down into the kitchen, I put on a podcast. Normally, if it's one that I was finishing up on my walk, I'll finish it there. Or I love watching like Therapists with Jake Shane, so I'll put that on. Just sort of any like, I don't want to say background podcast because that almost sounds like offensive, but just like a pop culture-y, fun podcast-esque I like to put on. So I'll put on the TV or on my phone and I'll just cook dinner. Dinner lately has been very casual, meaning it's always just a protein with vegetables and that's really it. Like last night, it was these chicken meatballs on a Greek salad, and on the Greek salad, I just did a bed of lettuce with tomatoes. We got this like farro salad from a deli, so I put that on top of there. I roasted some peppers and onions, a little bit of feta cheese, a little tzatziki, and pita bread, and that was really good. And tonight it's pretty much going to be that, except instead of chicken meatballs, it's just going to be chicken breast. So yeah, like it's really just any sort of meat with veggies. Tomorrow it's going to be steak with green beans and sweet potato. Like it's I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but it's just very like standard food. I'm not going crazy with like dinners. Not to say that there's any reason why. It's just easy this way and I'm enjoying eating this way. So that's what I do. So 5:30, I start making dinner. I make it for my boyfriend and then we normally will eat around 6:15. It really just depends how long dinner takes. It normally doesn't take that long, but I do like to take my time just because I really do enjoy cooking. I enjoy the process of it. I enjoy the me time that I get. I enjoy my little rituals of watching a podcast while I do it. I just really like the ritual of making dinner and then having a home cooked meal. It's just really awesome to me. So I make dinner. My boyfriend and I will then eat dinner together. Normally we just like chit chat. Sometimes we'll have a show on, but not all the time. And if we do, now that the Phillies are back to play, like we'll have maybe the Phillies game on, but normally we just like chit chat about our days. He works from home, so it's not like I don't see him all day. Like he's always home. And I obviously as well work from home. So we'll just like, I don't know, chit chat about whatever there is to talk about that day. So we have dinner. Then afterwards, he cleans the kitchen, which is so great because I hate doing dishes. So he'll do the dishes. And then normally we have like some sort of dessert. Typically it's in the form of like fruit, like grapes are so good right now. We're in season. Strawberries are always really good. I'm not always in the mood for dessert because I'm typically really full from dinner, but I don't know, just anything sort of sweet, or maybe I'll just make a tea. I really like peppermint tea. I don't have it a ton because I find that when I have tea after dinner, I just have to pee throughout the night, and that's not fun to feel like that. Like when you're trying to go to sleep and suddenly have to pee. So I try to not drink like a ton of liquids before I go to bed, but yeah, I just have dinner, dessert. And then after dinner, I literally go to bed so early, you guys. And it sounds super lame and super boring, but like, what am I going to stay up for? You know what I mean? So after that, we like close down the kitchen, wipe down the countertops, start the dishwasher, just make sure everything is good, and then go upstairs. This is when I take a shower. I forgot to mention, sometimes I do shower like after Pilates, but like not all the time because I'm not always like, I don't sweat when I'm at Pilates and I don't sweat on my walk. That's probably just right now because it's like still kind of cooled out. I'm sure in the summertime, once it's hot out and when I get back to the house, I'm definitely going to be showering and changing, but like I don't always need to be because I don't sweat. So anyway, but I always shower after dinner and I love showering before I get into bed. And it's just like a good thing to just like wash the day off. You know what I mean? I'll put on music if I feel like it and I'll just like wash the day off. It just feels really, really nice. And then I get to go into my pajamas and get nice and lotioned up and just be super cozy. And then I get in bed. And at this point, it's literally like 7:15, 7:30, and I'm in bed. And when I get into bed, I turn the fireplace on and I do whatever. So some nights it's watching TV. A few shows that I love are Summer House. I'm watching Dope Thief on Apple TV, which is really good. Obviously, White Lotus just ended, and I'm really sad about that, but I did write about it in my newsletter if you guys want to go read my thoughts on it. Let me think. What else am I watching? Started Surface on Apple TV. I really want to watch Severance. I started The Pitt. I need to finish that because I just canceled my HBO subscription. So I have until May 1st to finish The Pitt while I have HBO. What else? Yeah, I don't know. Like we'll just watch TV or I'll read a book or I'll scroll on TikTok or Instagram. And then like as soon as I get into bed is when I take my probiotic and my magnesium, and within like 20-30 minutes like I'm out. So it's so lame to sit on this podcast and tell you guys that like I go to bed at like 8:39, but it is the truth. I go to bed really early. Says my boyfriend. It's like, what do we have to be up for? And we just like go to bed. And it's really awesome. And it's so great. Yeah, and I sleep really well, get my 8 hours, and then I wake up and I rinse and repeat and I do it all again the next day. And that's my daily routine in like as much detail as I can give. And I don't think I missed out on anything. Again, like I said, it might be a little bit different once the summer comes around, and maybe I can do an updated one if you guys like these as much as I like these. But that's it. That's my daily routine. And I would seriously love to know yours. Make a post about it, a TikTok about it, a vlog about it, and tag me in it. I really, really, really want to see them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, if you guys could subscribe to this channel, if you guys could subscribe and follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate the show 5 stars, leave a little review. It helps the show so much. And if you think this was great and you share it on your story, I would love you forever. Share it with a friend. It really just helps the show a lot and it helps me a lot. And it's a free way to support. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I love you guys and I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye guys.